Hello, and today we will talk about an overview of human resource management, and then we'll get into why human resource management matters and how it can be helpful for HR analytics. Human resources refers to people that work for any entity, any organization, be it a department, be it a big, large conglomerate organization, private or public sector. So human resources can be members or non-members. In other words, they can be full-time, part-time, temporary employees, contractors, and crowd-based workers that are associated with an organization or with an entity. Now, human resource management, on the other hand, refers to the constellation of decisions as well as actions that are associated with managing people throughout the employee's life cycle in order to maximize the employee and organization effectiveness in attaining their goals. So there are many elements here associated with the definition of human resources management. Constellation of decisions and actions that are associated with managing people throughout the employee life cycle. And the goal here would be to maximize employee and the organization effectiveness in terms of achieving their goals. Human resource management, again, starts from the beginning when employees are targeted or attracted to an organization and eventually selected and hired. And then throughout the training and development process, as long as they're staying with the company, and finally as they transition into retirement and receive the final benefits as a tenured employee who has now resigned. So human resource management covers the entire life cycle of an employee's employment with the organization. Herman Aquinas mentioned that in today's hyper-competitive, global, and interconnected world, it is easier to imitate the other company's technology. Now, in today's environment, obviously, we're dealing with technology and products that are constantly being updated on a regular basis. Sadly, we're only relying on imitation to keep up with everybody else. That is not sustainable. We know that's going to only last for a very short period of time. The same thing would be true of services. Think about companies like Disney Channel, HBO, Showtime, Hulu, Netflix. When one of them comes up with an innovative show, all of a sudden the other channels would try to duplicate that so their audience would stay with them. However, the duplication or imitation only lasts for so long. So in order for services and products in technologies to be sustainable, we need more than just imitation. Let me ask you to think about this question. What distinguishes companies such as Apple, Google, Amazon, or Tesla from all the other firms that have not necessarily been quite as successful over the last decade or so? So what would be the distinguishing factor among those who are very successful and those who are perhaps not, at least not in a sustainable manner? One word comes to mind. You probably were thinking about it. That is talent, or something that we call human resource and human capital, which makes the company stand out. So talent is much harder to imitate or duplicate than any other technologies, any other products, or any other services that are being offered. Engineers who develop the next generation of iPhone and the programmers who write the code for Google, for example, or Tesla's self-driving cars are the exact factors that allows these organizations to succeed in a sustainable manner. So outstanding people make their companies, their organizations, their products, their technologies, their services stand out. That is the power of talent or human resources. So people matter. Individuals influence workplace culture in organizational accomplishments. Engage and energize your people. Sadly, we know that disengaged employees tend to cost American companies about $550 billion each year in lost productivity. You don't want any of your people to be disengaged or sit back and relax and wait for somebody to tell them to do something. We need them to be energized, motivated, and obviously be involved because the human capital, human resources matter. Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group, mentioned that if you take care of your employees, they will take care of your business. Take care of your employees and they will take care of your business. They will take care of your customers, your end users, and the people who actually pay for the products, services, and technologies that you offer to them. There are many, many elements in today's changing environment of human resource management. Think about how the demographics of your customers and employees are changing. Think about the emergence of the gig economy. We have increasing globalization in today's environment. Technology and data are rapidly changing, and the amount of data is increasing so fast that we cannot keep up with it oftentimes. That's what we call the era of big data, right? And obviously, all companies have to be concerned about ethics and corporate social responsibility in any context of our businesses, in any city, any state, any province, any nation, any continent around the globe nowadays. The emergence of the gig economy provides both advantages as well as disadvantages. So in terms of advantages of the gig economy, you see scheduling, flexibility, variety, and ability to pursue our own interest, or every employee pursuing his or her own interest. And we need to pass these advantages on to employees in order to attract them and retain them to our organizations. Sadly, the disadvantages of gig economy can include inconsistency in compensation as well as scheduling, lack of benefits, and unclear legal environment since things are changing so rapidly. The availability of big data is a big deal nowadays. Estimates show that every 5 years, data is going to be doubling, if not more, at a fast pace. So many companies, unfortunately, do not have a very good team or department that analyzes all this data. So we need to do much better in our human resources department to keep track of data, make sense of data, and help our managers and leaders to use that data for future forecast or to make better predictions in terms of patterns of talent for our organizations. Technology is, again, here. It's part of every field nowadays. Artificial intelligence is perhaps going to be integrated in most of our jobs, at least the ones that are repetitive. Remote work is a reality, right? Teleworking, especially during the COVID era, we all work from home in some capacity at least. Whether it was training and development, reviewing material, and then we went to work, but we did some of our work from home. So this remote work, technology, in terms of artificial intelligence, all have an impact on human resource management. One of the concerns that all of us will have to be looking out for is the protection of data and privacy that's impacting all of us. Unfortunately, one of the disadvantages associated with technology is that hackers will take advantage of all this data that's available. So we need to do better in securing the data provided by our employees and our customers, and also making sure that we're always in compliance with the regulations locally and nationally, as well as internationally. Internationally, for example, if you are doing business in the European Union, you're going to have to align all of your policies with a general data protection regulation, which came out in 2014. So the GDPR is designed to govern and specify how private data of individuals should be collected, how they should be treated, how they should be managed, and even how they should be deleted when it's no longer needed. In today's hyper-connected world, an individual's right to be forgotten is a reality, but certainly it can be very complicated when it comes to deleting a person's private or personal data from online communities, plethora of web servers, especially when these cookies save our data on so many different maybe machines and platforms online. Nonetheless, companies that are present in the European Union, for example, are those that deal with the collection of European Union citizens' data, need to create and make available a right for people to be forgotten according to the GDPR compliance requirements in Europe. Locally here in the United States, we also have a lot of sector-based laws. For each sector of our industry, we might have different rules and policies. So as you move forward in getting more updated information on data protection, be aware of the laws that govern your specific industry, your specific company, and make sure your employees and consumers' data are protected at all times. The Society for Human Resource Management has identified technical, interpersonal, business, and leadership competencies that are associated with all human resource professionals in the modern era. They've identified competencies such as HR expertise and knowledge, relationship management, communication, cultural and global effectiveness, business acumen, critical evaluation, consultation, leadership and navigation, and finally, ethical practices in everything that we do. Now, the technical competencies include HR expertise and knowledge. Interpersonal competencies include relationship management, communication, along with global and cultural effectiveness. Business competencies include business acumen, critical evaluation and consultation. And finally, the leadership competencies include leadership and navigation, as well as ethical practices. So whether you're dealing with HR analytics or just as a manager, you're working with people, it's a very good practice to develop these competencies as a manager, as a professional, but more importantly, as a human resource professional in your field. In summary, let me mention that always try to build a reputation for being an objective, analytic, and a rational professional. You can do this by analyzing the numbers, analyzing the data, and analyzing all of the facts surrounding a situation in order for you to make evidence-based decisions. So build a reputation for being an objective, analytic, and a rational professional. Good luck.